All right, let's be real. For the past couple of years, when we've talked about AI, we've really just been talking about chatbots, right? Well, that's all about to change. Think of 2026 as the year AI finally grows up. It's getting a body, it's getting a wallet, and it's even getting a passport. It's literally stepping out of our screens and into our world. And this quote from Shung it hits the nail on the head. AI is stepping out. I want you to really let that sink in for a second. This isn't just about slightly better, smarter chatbots. No way. We're talking about AI getting actual hands to build things, feet to deliver stuff, and yeah, even its own wallet to pay for it all. That is a massive, seismic shift. Okay, so what does that actually look like in the real world? I mean, where is AI going to show up first? Well, the material we're looking at today points to three huge new frontiers. And the first one, it's probably the one you're already thinking of, robots. So let's dive into that first frontier, embodied AI. In other words, yeah, we're talking about robots. The hype around them it's through the roof, right? But we need to have a little reality check here. Because there's this enormous gap between the cool demo videos you see online and what's actually happening on, say, a factory floor. And this really lays out the problem perfectly. You've got the expectation, the slick, back-flipping robots that go viral on social media, and then you've got the reality, the day-to-day grind. The source material calls this the commercialization gap, and honestly, it's not a gap. It's a canyon. So why is this so incredibly hard? I mean, what's the holdup? It all comes down to something called the complex stack. First, you have this brain and body problem. You've got to push this software, the brain, and the hardware, the body, forward at the exact same time. They have to evolve together. Then there's the integration hurdle, which is just massive. Getting all these different pieces of software and hardware to play nicely with each other, it's a huge engineering nightmare. And finally, you've got the simulation to reality gap. A robot can be an absolute genius in a clean, controlled lab, but one little banana peel in the real world, and it's game over. Okay, so physical robots are up against the laws of physics. But what about AI in the purely digital world? Well, the big challenge there isn't gravity or friction. Nope. It's something way more human. And that brings us to our second big frontier, closing the AI trust gap. So first things first, let's get on the same page about what agentic AI even means. We're not talking about a chatbot that just fetches information for you. We're talking about an AI that actually does stuff on your behalf. Think of an autonomous agent that can book your flights, manage your chaotic schedule, or even go online shopping for you. And you know what? This isn't some far-off sci-fi dream. It's way closer than you think. We are right on the cusp of a world where you can just say to your AI, hey, order me a pizza, half pepperoni, half veggie, and poof, it just happens. The tech to pull that off, it's pretty much already here. Which, of course, leads to the big question, right? If the technology basically works, what's the holdup? Why aren't we all doing this already? Why can't I just tell my phone to handle all my online shopping right this second? Well, because, and this is a really important aha moment from our source material, the number one bottleneck, the main thing holding this whole revolution back, it has nothing to do with technology. The real problem is trust. I mean, think about it for a second. I'll ask you directly. Would you right now give an AI your credit card number and just let it go spend your money? That little bit of hesitation you're probably feeling, that is the trust gap. So how in the world do we build that trust? The source material lays out this idea of a three-part safety net. First, we need brand new, super secure security layers that are built specifically for machines to pay other machines. Second, we need standards, a common language, so all these different AI agents can transact with each other without chaos. And here's where it gets really interesting. A key part of the solution might just be blockchain. But wait, not for crypto. We're talking about using it for something super practical. Basically, a Control-Z for money. A way to instantly reverse a transaction if an AI goes rogue and buys 1,000 rubber chickens. Okay, so we've talked about the physical world with robots and the commercial world with AI agents. For our third and final frontier, we have to zoom way, way out. Because the AI race isn't just about Google versus OpenAI anymore. It's becoming a game of national strategy. It's about geopolitics. And the big idea here is something called sovereign AI. What does that mean? It's the idea that for a nation to survive and thrive, it has to be able to build, control, and govern its own AI. Think about it. In this day and age, letting another country control your AI is like letting them control your electricity or your water supply. It's a total non-starter. And there's a really powerful analogy here that makes this crystal clear. For decades, the SWIFT banking system has been used as a huge tool of economic influence, right? Well, fast forward to today, and a nation's AI capability is becoming the new SWIFT. It's an economic tool that can be used as a shield, or even as a weapon. And you can bet no country wants to be on the wrong side of that. And so what's happening is that nations are now in a flat-out race to build their own digital independence. And it's basically a three-part playbook. First, they're setting up strong AI governance and roles. Second, they're pouring money into developing their own homegrown talent. And third, they're building a whole local ecosystem, getting business, government, and academia all pulling in the same direction to advance their own national AI goals. All right, let's pull all of this together. The real story of AI in 2026, when you get right down to it, is so much bigger than just smarter chatbots. It's about AI breaking out and pushing into these three completely new and really challenging frontiers. So here's the bottom line. For physical robots, the real fight is against physics and complex integration. For AI agents that want to spend our money, the battle isn't about tech. It's about trust and security. And in the global AI race, it all comes down to politics and national sovereignty. Three totally different frontiers, three totally different challenges. And that really brings us to this final powerful idea. This whole transition, it's not just the story of 2026. It's going to be the story of the entire decade. We're watching AI evolve in real time, from a simple tool that answers our questions to something that can execute a chain of command, making things happen in both the physical world and our financial lives. And so that leaves us with one massive question. As AI moves from being a simple digital assistant to a true chain of command that has real-world consequences, are we ready? Are you ready? Are our businesses ready? Are our countries ready for what's coming next? That is the question that's going to define everything in the next decade. And if you want to stay ahead of these shifts, you're in the right place. Thanks for joining me.